Welcome to our English class Aprender a Estudar em Casa, 12th grade. I am your English teacher and my name is Alina Sancha. Today we are going to focus on grammar again, and our class is going to be reported speech. So, what are we learning? We are going to learn reported speech, and we're going to learn reporting statements, reporting questions, and reporting imperatives. Imperatives here, it's for orders and commands, as we say, reporting commands. Okay? So let's see how we use reporting speech. So, to talk about reporting speech, we have also to talk about direct speech. And direct speech, when we say this is direct speech, is exactly the same words that the person used. And that's why we use the quotation marks to show that those aren't our words. And reported speech, we say what other people said, which means we have to make a little transformation in the sentences. And we don't use quotation marks. So you see here, Paulo said, I love you. Because these are Paulo's exact words, they are between quotation marks. And that is direct speech. And here we have, Paulo said that he had loved me. The meaning is the same, but this is me saying what he said. There's no quotation marks. Okay? So let's see the changes. When we change the sentence from direct speech to reported speech, there are many changes. One of the changes that we see is in the verb. Okay? So let's see how verb changes. So, if you have present goes to past. Past simple still goes to past perfect. So, present simple goes to past simple. Present continuous goes to past continuous. Okay? Past simple goes to past perfect. But past perfect remains the same. There's no change when it's past perfect. Past continuous goes to past perfect continuous. Future goes to conditional. As I said, mainly what you have to remember is if it's present, it goes to the past. Okay? If it's future, it goes to conditional. And if it's past, it goes to past perfect. And if it's past perfect, it remains past perfect. So these are the changes in the verb. Other changes that may occur is, I told you that when we pass from direct speech to indirect speech, what happens is the verb change. But not always. If the reporting verb is in present simple, there is no change in the verb tense. Here, Ricardo say, I don't check my email every day. This is between quotation mark because it's Ricardo speaking. And Ricardo says, so here the reporting verb is in present simple. and it remains the same, the present simple. I don't check, he doesn't check his email every day. There are some changes in the sentence, but not in the verb tense. I won't attend the school tomorrow. And she said that she won't attend the school tomorrow. So here, the verb was in the future and there isn't any change in that. Okay? Let's see other changes that happen. There are many changes. So there are changes in personal pronouns, in possessive pronouns, and in possessive adjectives. Let's see what these changes are. I, because it's the first person singular, usually change to the third person singular. Okay? It goes, Carla said, I am going to sit at the back with my friend. So she said that I becomes she and my becomes her, because the first person singular becomes the third person singular. Okay? Let's see other changes. There are changes in the tense expressions, the time expression. So these are some of the changes that occurs. I'm not going to mention all of them. Your classroom teacher is going to give you a handout with all these changes, and when you do the exercises in the classroom, you will memorize them. Okay? But a few of them, I will mention a few. Now becomes then or at that time or immediately. Today or tonight becomes that day. Yesterday becomes the day before. Okay? When you say, yesterday I had lunch with my mom. So you say, she said that the day before or the previous day, she had had lunch with her mom. Okay? Other changes that occur is in modal verbs. So, the modal verbs also change the tense. Okay? So, if you have can in direct speech, it becomes could in indirect speech. If you have will or shall, it becomes would. But there is, for example, something I have to call your attention here is must. Because must may have different meaning. So it may change or not according to the meaning. You know that modal verbs change according to the meaning, right? So if must or had to obligation, the express obligation, must remains the same when it expresses logical assumption. For example, if it express obligation, it change. If it's logical assumption, it doesn't change. Let me give you an example of logical assumption. Your colleague comes to school every day. She never misses the school. When you came today, you didn't see your colleague. First period, second period. So you think, okay, something must have happened, or she must be sick, or she must be at home with her mom must be sick. So you are taking conclusion based on your experience with this person. So you must tell him the truth. She told me that I must or I had to tell the truth. So Rosa must live in the area. I told that Rosa must live in the area. So no change here because it's logical assumption. Okay? And other changes that happen. This is very important to identify, say, and tell. So we use say when we don't know who the receptor of the message is. For example, I get in the classroom and I say things like, they are giving scholarship. Probably it's for your classroom, it's for the other classroom, it's for 10th grade students, it's for 12th grade students. We don't know who the receptor of the message is. In this case, we use tell, say. And we use tell when the receptionist, the person that you are talking to, appears in the sentence. My mom told me that I am the daughter she likes the most. So in the sentence, you know that the mother was talking to me, okay? Because it's in the sentence. So the verb here must be tell. So the main difference, say when we don't know who you are talking to or who received the message, and tell when we know who received the message. Is it clear? So let's move. So there are some expressions also that are used with say, tell, and ask. We say good morning. We say good morning to everyone. We say good afternoon. We say something. We say nothing. We say a prayer. Or we say a few words. But we tell the truth. We tell a lie. We tell secrets. We tell story. So these are things that come with these specific verbs. Okay? And we ask a question. We ask the price. We ask for a favor. So the difference between these verbs is the expression that comes with them. Okay? So how do we report questions? Reported questions are introduced by verbs like ask, inquire, wonder, or the phrase want to know. So when I want to report a question, I usually use any of these verbs or expression. Ask, inquire, okay, or wonder or wanted to know. So when the direct question begins with a question word, so do you remember the question words? Yes? So here we have them. Who? Where? What? Why? When? Or how? These are the question words. So when a question begins with a question word, what happened? The reported question is introduced with the same question word. Okay? Let's see example. Who left the lights on? She asked. What is the reported question? She asked who had left the light on. So the same question word in the question remains in the reported question. When the direct question starts with an auxiliary verb, so the auxiliary verbs that we have seen so far are being, have, or do or a modal verb, then the reported question is introduced with if or whether. To make it simpler, when you have a question that the answer may be yes or no, we start with if or whether. For example, if I say, "Are you my sister?" The reported question is going to be, she asked me if I was her sister, or whether I was her sister. Because when I ask you, "Are you my sister?" your answer can only be yes or no, right? So when it starts with an auxiliary verb or with a modal verb, so we use if or whether. For example, is she your sister? That's the direct question. He wanted to know if she was my sister or whether she was my sister. Do you like bananas? She wanted to know whether I liked banana or if I liked banana. Because when I ask people, "Do you like bananas?" the answer must be yes or no. Is it clear? So, besides questions, we're going to look at commands, requests, suggestions, or orders. To report these things, we use to infinitive, because usually these things are done with infinitive, right? For example, "Drop your weapon now." It's infinitive, drop. And the police officer told the bank robber to drop his weapon immediately. That's a command, right? Because it's a command, it starts with infinitive, and we're going to use to infinitive. And when it's in negative, we're going to use the not to. Okay? For example, leave your key at the front desk before you leave. That's a request. We say, he asked us to leave our keys at the front desk before we left. So to report commands, orders, requests, suggestions, we use to infinitive. I think that reporting commands, suggestions, requests, and orders is the easiest one, because the only thing you have to do is put to in front of the verb or not to. Don't open the door. The teacher ordered us not to open the door. See how it works? Very easy. So this is what I was telling you. We use the verb order or tell plus the subject not to infinitive when we report commands, requests, suggestions, orders. Okay? I have gone further explaining this to you. So, in a nutshell, to recap our lesson today, what have you seen? We have seen reported speech, and we saw that direct speech, there's no, we use quotation mark, but there is no quotation mark in reported speech. Also, that reported speech has the same meaning but different words, because it's someone else saying what other people said. There are changes in verb tenses, there are changes in the pronouns, there are changes in the time expressions. We also looked at reporting infinitive, and we saw that reporting infinitive is easy because we're going to use to infinitive when we have imperatives, right? And I gave you an example, stop. And then I say, she ordered me to stop. Or don't say that. She told me not to. So that's what I had for you today. We have come to an end of another class of English, Aprender a Estudar em Casa. I really enjoyed teaching you, and I hope you have been following all the classes. See you next class. Bye.